All right, I gotta get set up. I don't know why, like when I'm done, I always unplug the microphone. Now I'm gonna plug that in. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna record. I got some really hot tea, so I don't want to move this too crazily and the tea falls off, because then I'm gonna be shitting. I'm gonna be mad and shit's just gonna be bad. All right, so let's do our test. Hello, how are you doing today? Hello, how are you doing today? Yeah, I like that. Let's do one more little test. You know what I'm saying? I just wanna touch and kiss. Said I wish that I could be with you tonight. You give me butterflies inside life. I just wanna touch and kiss. Said I wish that I could be with you tonight. You give me butterflies inside life. Man, somebody give me a record deal, dog. Dog. Had to change my shirt, because as you can see, y'all crazy. Let me get my drink. Fix this microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of the Handle That Podcast. And we're just going to jump right into it. This is a little off episode, a little off kilter, because I usually don't talk about this stuff. So I just want to talk about the blatant, and I mean the blatant hypocrisy as it pertains to black and white quarterbacks in the NFL. So I haven't been watching too much football as of recent, because my team just hasn't been doing very good. The Kaepernick situation, how they handle that, feel how you feel about it. Not here to debate that. But mainly because my team just wasn't doing very good. I've been a Dolphin fan for 28 years. I've been alive for 28 years. And they just weren't a very good team. But one thing that I never agreed with, nor did I understand, was, well, growing up I didn't understand, but as an adult I do get it now. But one thing I want to call into question is the blatant hypocrisy as it pertains to black and white quarterbacks. Now, I cannot remember where, because I don't want to say something without citing where I got it from, but I honestly cannot remember where I got this from. I think it was a coach. It was an anonymous team staff member, and he told the media or whatever, black quarterbacks are not allowed to grow and to progress into their role as the captain on their specific teams. They either are all-stars immediately, they either ball out immediately, or they get dropped immediately, right? If you think about, the few high-level black quarterbacks in the last, 8 years, I think you got RG3. He was drafted in 2011 or 2012, and he literally lit a spark, lit a fire in Washington when he was there. And over time, he got injured and stuff like that, and they let him go. See what other, of course you got Lamar Jackson now, but as far as black quarterbacks, I know Taj Boyd played for Clemson. He was drafted by the Jets, and he got dropped immediately. Because he didn't pan out very well. The system at Clemson was completely different from the system at in New York for the Jets. And besides, the caliber of wide receiver talent, the offensive weapons were not there. You got Geno Smith who was drafted, similar thing. Similar situation as with the Taj Boyd thing. He was drafted to the New York Jets. You know, systems are different, caliber of talent's different. You know, he didn't get enough time to get acclimated to that type of system, or they didn't necessarily try to build around him. And you know, you got Deshaun Watson now. Deshaun Watson is, you know, one of those players, much like Lamar Jackson, who, you know, they come out the gate playing at a very high level, you know. It helps that for Deshaun Watson, when he got to Houston, you know, DeAndre Hopkins was there. DeAndre Hopkins played for Clemson, so they already had that connection, that Clemson connection, which was good for him, you know. And it took a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It took a lot of getting used to Lamar Jackson for the Bengals organization, the fan base, all of that, because when he first came in, they booed him. They didn't want him to be the quarterback. They wanted Joe Flacco back in, because at that time, the type of quarterback that he was, the system was geared around the type of a quarterback that Joe Flacco was. You know, so when you are, you know, a different type of player and you come into a different type of scheme, obviously you're going to have your ups and downs and you're going to have your challenges, unless the team builds around you, especially if you're the quarterback. Now, let's dive a little bit more deep into this situation. Drinking on a little spearmint tea, which is really good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, every time I record a podcast, I'm going to try a little different something. I'm going to tell you all what it is, you know, so you might want to go get it, you know, whatever. But anyway, so one thing I noticed about the NFL is that whenever a white quarterback does something abrasive, he does something that most people would call immature, he does something that, you know, most people would say is uncalled for, it's always called, oh, he's got the passion for the game. He hasn't lost that passionate spark. I remember when Tom Brady threw an interception. I can't remember what team he was playing against, but he threw an interception, and I believe the safety or the cornerback, ran it back. It was a pick six. And, you know, I think they went to the half down because of that. And he's like throwing his fucking helmet. He's like, fuck, just screaming fuck. And the announcers are like, oh man, Tom Brady hasn't lost that positive spirit. You know, he's got the fire of the game in him. He's ready to go for round. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, you know, Cam Newton does something similar, and they're calling him childish. They're calling him immature. And my personal favorite, that's not what the game needs, which is complete fucking bullshit. You know, there was this big thing back when Cam Newton was on the Carolina Panthers, and I believe this was right before they made that push to go to the Super Bowl. Or it might have been around that same time. But regardless, there were a lot of people calling the BS calls into question, because if you literally touch Tom Brady the wrong way, if you touched Aaron Rodgers the wrong way, if you tapped Peyton Manning at the time in the wrong way, it was an automatic 10-yard, automatic 15-yard penalty, and your team suffered because of it. But, you know, quarterbacks like Cam Newton were literally ragdolled, and no calls were thrown. You know, no flags were thrown, rather. No calls were made, no nothing. And people were like, well, what the fuck is this? Because they play the same position. They're receiving the same type of, you know, contact from the defenders in the same type of situation. He hasn't passed the line of scrimmage to become an active runner. So why are these calls not coming in? And then that whole thing just went up. And, you know, the reasoning behind this episode was pretty much today. My beef with this whole thing, right? I say all of that to say this. My beef with this whole thing is that Lamar Jackson is the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, right? I actually like the Baltimore Ravens. The only time I don't like the Ravens is when they're playing against the Miami Dolphins, right? They're like my little secret secondary team, like them and the Bengals. So, just last year, the Baltimore Ravens went 14-2. They literally went on like a 9-game win streak or some shit, 10-game win streak or something. Everybody's like, oh God, Lamar Jackson's the MVP. The Ravens are going to win it all and blah, 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 blah. And then they get to the second round of the playoffs, which they had a first round bye. They had to play against the Tennessee Titans, right? I don't think they strategized very well for Derrick Henry of the Tennessee Titans. You know, this fucking dump truck of a running back, literally bulldozing over everybody, right? So they lost that game. And now, you know, you take that game plus the playoff game they had the previous year that the Ravens also lost, and now the moniker is that, oh, Lamar Jackson is not ready for big time games. Okay, that's fine, right? It's fine. If you lose big time games, you're gonna start to build up a reputation as a guy who crumbles under pressure, who does all this, who does all that. Because when you're a black quarterback, it's less of a what you've done and more of a what have you done for me lately type situation. You know what I mean? So they lost today. They lost the Ravens. They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it was 28-24. Right? My Miami Dolphins actually won. Tua Tagovailoa is going. He's going to take us all the way. But this is not about them, right? So they lost 24-28. And now people are like, oh my God, are we going to have a conversation about Lamar? Are we going to talk about this, that, and the third? Are we going to, you know, call into question his leadership skills and whatnot? And I'm like, okay, here we go. Had this been any other quarterback, any other white quarterback, and this is not just something I'm saying, this is something I've been seeing over the years, he would have been given chance after chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to figure out how to fit into this offense. And if the team liked him a lot, they would take that aspect away and build around his skill set, right? The Ravens have built around Lamar Jackson's skill set, right? Lamar Jackson has literally set the bar so high for himself, and that's like a double-edged sword. Because if you regress at all, if you make one mistake, if you have one bad game, your entire career is going to be called into question, right? But if you continue to operate at that level, everything is going to be good, but you will have those people who are going to think, okay, when is this stuff, like, when is the shit going to hit the fan? You know what I mean? When is it going to hit the fan? Now, I'm not big on like stats, statistics, you know, touchdowns, yards. I know a lot of people are. That's never been my thing. I literally only care about if you win or if you lose, if this person's hurt, if that person's hurt, who has the best chance to do this. You know, that's really what I care about. Now, you have certain quarterbacks. Like, let me think about one quarterback. Okay. Tom Brady. You got Tom Brady, okay? Now, Tom Brady has literally been the poster child of the NFL for a solid decade, right? Maybe a little bit longer, right? But it was that run between him and Peyton Manning for a while. But he's been the poster child of the NFL. So much so to where people are calling him the greatest athlete of all time. And I'm like, first of all, big dog, just shut the fuck up. Because he doesn't play off defense. You know, it's like, I don't think you could necessarily call an NFL player, you know, an NFL quarterback the best athlete of all time. And so that's just another conversation for another time. Now, I have seen Tom Brady have bad games. Let's add Ben Roethlisberger in there too. I have seen these two type quarterbacks have bad games. Whenever they have a bad game, it's the receiver's fault. It's the running back's fault. The defense didn't show up. Special teams fucked up. The coaching staff could have did this better. It's never their fault. And the type of character that Ben Roethlisberger is, he's built up a reputation of not taking responsibility for his part in fucking up a game. You know, he had a falling out with Le'Veon Bell and a falling out with Antonio Brown. And I know how a lot of people feel about Antonio Brown right now, but he's been called out for not taking responsibility in his part of the team losing or the team having a bad season or whatever. It's always somebody else's fault, right? You take those two quarterbacks who are white, and you take a guy like Cam Newton today, right? The Patriots, which is always a good thing for me, lost today, right? But I like Cam Newton. So I don't want to see the Patriots, I don't want to see the Patriots succeed, but I do want to see Cam Newton succeed. And I know it goes hand in hand, so it doesn't matter. The Patriots lost today. I can't remember the score. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look it up right now. Hey Google. New England Patriots.
The Patriots lost 24-21 today against the Bills.
Okay. So the Patriots lost 24-21 today against the Bills, right? And I'm seeing all these people say, oh my God, we got to get Cam the fuck out of there. Cam is trash. I don't know why we signed him. I don't know why we did this. I don't know why da-da-da-da-da and this, that, and the third and blah, 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 blah. And this was the same type of rhetoric that would happen when he was on the Carolina Panthers, right? Whenever they had a bad game, oh my God, Cam is this, Cam is that. Now, he played his part. But I've never heard Cam not take responsibility for his part in the team losing. Right? Oh God, we got to get Cam out of New England. I don't know why we signed him and blah, 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 blah. If you really want to look at it, the New England Patriots are already on a downward spiral, right? They signed Cam for like 5 McNuggets and a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit. That was already a big fuck up, right? You got guys who are third string quarterbacks getting paid 10 times as much as Cam. That's already a red flag in my book. But they signed him for a stick of bubblegum and a left shoe. And you put him on a team that is literally going down fast. The defense without Stephon Gilmore and like maybe 1 or 2 other players is trash. The receiving core, trash. If you literally take out Cam Newton, Stephon Gilmore, and the other two, the 1 or 2 other guys on the defensive side, New England is one of the worst teams in the league right now. If you take those pieces away, you could probably get a high-powered offense like Clemson to beat them. I'm just saying. That's just me, right? Disagree with it. It's a little fun joke, but disagree with it. It's fine. I know how some diehard fans may feel. But this is how I feel about this thing. You lose a game because you have a quarterback who literally had a few surgeries before the season started, right? Your receiving core is not good. Your defense is, average. Your team as a whole is less than stellar. And the scapegoat is Cam Newton. And I honestly feel it's because he's a black quarterback. Now, if it was still Tom Brady, it would be everybody else's fault, right? And you can't even say that I'm, picking and choosing because the proof is in the pudding. This rhetoric is ridiculous. It really is. So, I just wanted to put that out there, man. And it's like, I really wish people would have this conversation more. I really wish people would have this conversation more. You got cats like Carson Wentz who are not playing very well this year. You got cats like who else? Even when Andrew Luck was playing, not saying that Andrew Luck was one of these guys, because he would take responsibility for his role in the team losing a game. But with the people around him, the media, they would call out specifically why the team lost. They wouldn't say it's his fault. They would say, oh, the O-line is bad. You know, they need more receiver help. The defense needs this. The defense. They would literally do their job and call out what needs to be called out instead of just immediately blaming the quarterback. Now, you had some people who would say, you know, Andrew Luck was overrated, but I never believed that. I just believed he was on a not bad team, but a developing team. And he was an all-star player on a developing team. You know, certain things needed to be in place, like that terrible fucking O-line that they had for like 4 years straight. You know, and they finally get a little bit better once he retires. So I just wanted to put that out there, man, and just call out the hypocrisy. You know, and it really needs to fucking stop. It really needs to stop. It's almost like people just think black guys can't be good quarterbacks. You know? Like, are we not going to act like Mike Vick was a good quarterback? Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback. Cam Newton, with the right pieces around him, is a great quarterback. The Patriots are just not a good team now. Right? So it's not his fault. And people are like, oh, he fumbled the ball. Get the fuck out of here, man. So because he made that one fumble, the entire thing is his fault. But when he won, when the team was actually winning those 2 or 3 games, it was either 2 or 3 games they won. Oh God, yeah, the team as a whole is doing good. It was never, oh, Cam is leading us to it. It was the team as a whole is doing good. But the minute they start losing, it's only his fault. Fuck out of here. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, man. You can literally feel how you want to feel about it. I understand. And like I say, I didn't want to have to make this video, but I'm just tired of the BS rhetoric. I'm just tired of it, you know? So with that being said, man, I really hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the Handle That Podcast. Make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, all of that. Make sure to stay groovy, stay cool, and above all else, handle that.